Hey everybody, welcome back to Roamer. This is a channel where we talk about everything automotive. We talk about adventure travel and electrification of both. And that's perfect for today because we're going to talk about the Jeep 4xe. Where did it go? There's rumors of its demise, and unfortunately, that's true. So today we're going to talk about what actually happened, why the Jeep 4xe failed, and where is Stellantis and its portfolio of products going from here. So first, let's back up a little bit. These platforms had a 2-liter turbocharged engine. They had an 8-speed ZF transmission that drove the 4-wheel drive systems. They had a 17 kilowatt hour battery and a 14-gallon fuel tank that the 2-liter could operate off. You could do a lot of different things with this platform. People really loved it. I mean, you got on the Facebook groups for owners, 10,000 people in a group, and really, really devout following because this thing was awesome. We had one for just over 3 years. We did all sorts of adventure travel with that. We went to New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, all over Texas, Big Bend. We off-roaded trails. We towed a adventure style camper along with us. Loved the open top, open air experience of Jeep. Just a really cool vehicle. There's a reason people love these things. So 4xe was successful. In fact, one of the most successful plug-in hybrids in the US for several years in a row. So why is it gone? Why did it disappear from their website? Why did they stop production months ago on this platform? Even after promising us a brand new variant. A new variant was supposed to arrive last year with the new 2-liter turbo Tiger Shark engine. A new ZF 8-speed transmission that promised a tremendous leap in efficiency and power delivery. Everything was pointing to this platform getting better and better. Well, I think two things happened. One was obviously the change in administration and the fact that the $7,500 tax credit disappeared. That's number one, because with that tax credit in place and the high margin on the Wrangler platform, Stellantis was able to go into the market and offer really, really cheap lease deals on these 4xes. Something not really possible with the other powertrains in the lineup. So if you went to a Jeep dealer and you wanted a Wrangler or even a Grand Cherokee, you could go drive all of these things and the finance guys could come to you and basically say, look at this crazy deal I can give you, this cheap lease offer for 3 years. And you get all of this capability. And oh, by the way, go drive it, right? Go drive that and go drive the V6, go drive the 2-liter turbo and come back and tell us, if you really see a difference. And in reality, most people would probably go drive those hybrids and they were great. Good power delivery, in EV only mode. It was silent, really cool experience. And so I think plenty of people signed up for that. They got a great car with a lot of content and they got a really good deal. Once that tax credit went away, just not able to offer up that type of deal anymore. Okay. It became far less attractive, even though the product was really cool. But the other problem with the Jeep 4xe platform was reliability. That battery pack had serious issues, and it really started to surface about 12 to 18 months into ownership once these things came to market. We went through several different recalls with our Jeep. It all came down to battery management, the software that the platform was using to manage the charging cycles and the heat and all of that. And it just wasn't able to overcome the fact that these battery packs had defects in them. In the little over 3 years that we had the Jeep, it was actually at the dealership almost 90 days total. 2 different recalls prior to having the battery replaced, which we'll get to in a second. We had a head gasket blow on the 2-liter turbo at 12,000 miles. We had cooling issues with the AC system. So had all of that dealt with. And then ultimately, right near the end of our 3-year lease, we had the high voltage battery fail. And it did need to go in the shop for almost a month and wait on a new battery and ultimately be replaced. What's really stinks is once that new battery was in and the new software was in, we were getting almost 30 miles of EV range out of that Jeep. So we got a pretty nice bump with a new battery pack and with new battery management software. So things were getting better. But the reality is that Jeep sold so many of these units, okay, probably over 300,000 across all of the 4xe platforms. And now it looks like they're going to have to replace almost all of those battery packs. It's sort of inevitable. So maybe yours is doing okay today, but in 2 or 3 years' time, that particular pack is going to have to be replaced. And I kind of think that ultimately is what killed it, because they can't go build any more new units, right? They've got to have all of that inventory of batteries to deal with the fact that they're going to have all these warranty claims. But that really begs the question, well, where are we going to go from here? Now we got this big gap in the lineup. We don't have these, and they were popular. Are people just going to get by on the existing ICE powertrains until Jeep and the rest of the Stellantis brands get their act together around the E-REV platforms? Now that's extended range EV, and we talk a lot about that here on the channel. And that's basically what Stellantis has come out and said. They said, we're going to focus on what we've got from an ICE perspective. There will be no replacement for the plug-in hybrid 4xe platform, and we're going straight to E-REV. Probably for Jeep, not until the arrival of the J70 platform in 2028. I really hope that happens. And I hope we also see a next-gen Gladiator with an E-REV platform. I think that would be absolutely killer application. I think the ability to have an all the time electric driving experience, electric motors, and a big enough battery to deliver good performance, but also have the generator on board to charge that battery and give you unlimited range. If you just wanted to jump in the car today and drive all the way to California, okay, you're going to be able to do that and just fill up with gas along the way and never worry about charging a battery at all. That's not the optimal way to operate an E-REV. You would definitely want to also stop every once in a while and charge that battery. But we'll see how people actually use them in practice. So that's where we're going. The downside to that is we really don't have anything in the intro. You can get a killer deal on a used 4xe out there, and you are going to have the protection of, I think it's an 8-year, 100,000, maybe even more, 120,000 mile warranty on those electric drivetrains. And man, you can get them cheap, because they're coming off of lease returns. The dealers don't want them. I see plenty of people jumping on board and saying they'll deal with the headache. And, when it's time to replace the battery, they'll go get the battery replaced, and then they'll be in a pretty good spot. Well, tell us what you guys think. If you had a 4xe, tell us about your experience down below. If you're really looking forward to the E-REV platforms, make sure that you actually subscribe to the channel, because we cover those technologies in depth, whether it's the Scout EV, the Ram Charger. I always say Ram Charger. The new Ram REV that's coming out, the Grand Wagoneer REV, and then the new F-150 E-REV that's going to come out at some point in the future. And then we're all sitting around waiting for General Motors to announce what they're doing. We know they're developing one too. Everybody's getting into this game, because at least in the large full-size SUV and the truck space, God, it makes so much sense for buyers. It just alleviates any concerns that people have around range anxiety, or the fact that they didn't really like hybrids because when it wasn't operating on battery in pure BEV mode, kind of underpowered, at least in the Jeep's case, really loud. That 2-liter sounded terrible. People didn't like that handoff experience. They're going to get a totally different experience in the E-REV. So really promising tech. Guys, thanks for watching this episode. Please join us down the road.